Hi everyone, my name is Marcus and I'm a film director, and today we are looking at my new YouTube series, Wrist Whispers. Let's take a look at the trailer.
There were times when I would be nervous as I progressed up the mountain, especially on summit day.
Oh, I feel kind of grounded when I look at it. It's very low key, and I guess I've just been through a lot with it.
It's amazing what this thing has gone through, and it's still with me. Ups and downs and trials and tribulations, and trying to be a little bit resilient in life.
I'd love to go back to that 20-year-old kid in Dublin and say, someday you're going to wear a gold watch, because that would get the guy quite excited, I think.
Oof. It's been a little while since I watched that. So basically, Wrist Whispers is a short documentary series where we talk to people who wear a watch, and they don't necessarily have to be collectors, and we ask them about the stories behind them. And for me, as the director and creator of the series, I wanted to get a deeper understanding of what the connection was that some people have to their watches and sort of the things that surround them. I think it's so easy to just get taken away with all the values and the sort of Instagram likes and everything that happens in social media when it comes to watches. And this is supposed to be a breath of fresh air, not only for you guys, but for me also, to just break down what's behind the watch and why the person ended up getting it or is wearing it on their wrist. Episode 1.
Like a lot of accessories, but
Really quick, just in the intro, this is obviously, it says my uncle, and we shot this on his balcony. It was live, and I did not give him any warning or any advance notice of what I was doing. I just pointed a camera and I started shooting. You know, this was really supposed to be a test and to see where the series could go, because I'd done longer versions of these before, but we'd never done something bite-sized and designed for social media. So this was really the first test.
which is something that I always been interested. In the very beginning, I didn't start.
So one of the hardest things that people don't fully understand when they're watching a film is just how difficult, especially in documentary, it is to go out and get B-roll that's relevant to the story. And this is the hardest part when it comes to Wrist Whispers. I have to shoot an interview and process the entire interview in my head, or hopefully if I have an assistant, the two of us need to look at the transcript and break down what we need immediately. Because ultimately, especially when I'm just interviewing my uncle, I need to go out and find footage that is relevant to the story, or I need to find something really visually compelling to keep the audience hooked. So here I think I did a B+ job of, really beautiful images of him and his watch and gardening, but we could have been a hair more relevant.
It's not just like a materialistic way of showing off that you have whatever means. No, it's not like that. It becomes part of you, becomes part of your person.
The ending title cards, I mean, it really is the truth. This is a fun series. This is supposed to be social. This is supposed to be a way to meet more people and just get more of the work that I do out there on YouTube and out in the social media realm. And honestly, if it wasn't for you, Uncle, thank you so much for all the hard work that you've put into supporting me. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have any of my career when it comes to the commercial work that I've done, or even these films, because so many people that I've met and that are in the series, I met while I was in Geneva staying with you. So thank you, Uncle. Episode 2, René Perez. Woohoo!
Let's just say I really, truly enjoy watches. Wow. I feel naked.
Oh my gosh. Just the first few shots, I mean, his home is so cinematic. His home is so beautiful. And he's a true artist, and he has been his entire life. So it really was fun to be able to, enter his home and be able to capture something, because I think it was a very visually intriguing space, and he's just so photogenic, so it was very easy.
Not that it's sentimental, it's that I like to maintain a consistency.
Yep, that's the steel rim
objects.
So we used a very special still lens. So this is actually for Leica M-mount cameras. I don't have one here, but it's a steel rim 35mm, which is very, very compact, and it literally has a steel rim on the front. So whenever there's projected light into it, that's what created the flare just there.
Like I say, in one form or another. Pretty much the entire 20 years I worked shooting runway, this watch was on my wrist.
It was really hard for me to get, images from him while he was shooting on runway. And that was because, and he was explaining this to me, when they were shooting back then, they would shoot the runway shot or whatever the assignment was, and they would literally give the film to the distributor, the magazine, whoever the agent was, and they'd almost never see it again. And you know, these slides were just some pieces that he did either personally or like freelance, so not on assignment. And even these, he was like, this isn't even close to the amount of work that I've done. So it was really difficult to try to get something visually for you guys to see and associate with him. But I just found it absolutely fascinating that, you know, this is someone who's shot probably over 1 million photos in their lifetime, and there's not much for them to show for this sort of 10-year period of work.
This is a Seiko Quartz chronograph.
The Seiko Quartz. I love that this piece is just broken and it doesn't always work, you know, and he still wears it. You know, that goes back to the purpose of this series, which is really to tell the stories behind why people keep things and how sentimental they are. It is not always about having the newest, flashiest thing or even having something that's super nice. It's about having a memory with you and having something to remind you of that memory.
That kind of feeling to my images, not necessarily to be pretty, but not necessarily to be so ugly that people can't appreciate them or want to hang them on their walls. You know, you have to walk a fine line. Watches, to me, maintain that same feel.
That seems to be the biggest response I get whenever I ask people, how do you choose a watch? It's almost always some format of how I feel in the moment. Sometimes it's, oh, I have a big meeting today and I want to wear something a bit more formal, maybe even a little bit higher end, so it gives me more confidence. I'm like, so you're feeling a little, you know, you're not feeling the most confident, you want a confidence boost. That tends to be the most, the reason people choose a watch most often. It's how they're feeling in the moment. I find that's a lot less a fashion choice than it is a confidence boost or descending into a character.
I can never afford an expensive watch, but it doesn't matter because I like what I have. And ultimately, that's the most important part. It's not about the object itself, it's about how you acquired it and where it fits in a timeline. And anyway, I got good taste, so they all look good.
About how you acquired it and where it fits in the timeline. I couldn't have said it better ourselves. All right, episode 3, Daniel Katz. Actually, before we even dive into this episode, I want to establish, we shot this in like 35 minutes, Miami morning at maybe 8 in the morning before we had a quick breakfast, and I was on to my next meeting by 10 a.m. So this whole thing was last minute. My dear friend Tim Wright, our dear friend Tim Wright, had introduced us and said, you guys should do a whisper, because he knew I was working on this project. And I was like, oh, okay, let's give it a shot. So I came over to his hotel. It was during the Miami Beach Antique Show. We had less than an hour to do the whole thing. So for being a rushed job, I'm actually really, really proud of this. In fact, removing the fact that it was a rush job, I'm really, really proud of this one. We shot on brand new anamorphic lenses from DZO. I think it looks great. So let's dive in.
The Rolex is my keeper, I hope, but I would still say the Seiko enamel is the one with the most memory. It's gone everywhere with me. It's amazing what this thing has gone through, and it's still with me, which reflects on all of our lives, what we go through, ups and downs and different.
So we're 18 seconds into the piece, and we're already establishing that he is someone that thinks very heavily about emotion and the place that he's dedicating energy to. And I think that was really important for establishing who he is. Because he has been on these live streams, people might have misconceptions or they might see just one part of him. I wanted to break that down immediately and say, no. Daniel is a very emotional person. He is very open, and this is just 18 seconds in, and honestly, this was very early in the interview as well.
A little bit resilient in life.
Oh, fantastic. You can smile.
Inception. Let's take a picture together. Take a picture.
Yep. Again, 30 seconds in, I really, really wanted to drive home. Not only is he emotional, not only does he think about his actions and where he puts his energy and time, he has surrounded himself with an amazing community, which is the watch community, which is you people watching. So I just wanted to remind everyone that there is a community, there are people around you to support you and connect, and it's a good thing and it's fun. And I mean, look at that smile. It's just magnificent.
Okay, I'll start off with watches in a way that I don't have here. I just fell in love with a watch that I could afford years and years and years ago. I saw it on the internet. Wow, this is good. It's been
Oh my
bumped a
gosh,
bit.
the watch that I don't have here right now, nothing is more painful to me than when I hear that and I'm pointing a camera at someone and we're interviewing them, because I know that there's going to be very little footage, there's going to be very little photos, it's oh my gosh, it's painful. So sorry, I wish I can't go back in time and replace and find these images. So that's what we had to work with. It's a cool watch though. The Seiko Monster is a very cool watch.
And I haven't gotten tired of the look. You know, it's all these things are nice. They're not fancy collection, but they're...
It's so interesting. You can talk to some of the biggest watch collectors in the world, all the way down to some of the smallest watch collectors in the world. It doesn't matter who they are. They will always sort of degrade their own collection, be like, this isn't the nicest, or this isn't the one that I want one day. It's such a fascinating thing that no matter how impressive or how important the collection is to you, people will always say, oh, it's not this, it's not that. You know, the grass is always greener. Come on, guys, try to drive it home. The grass is great where you are.
At the end of the day, all these pieces are wonderful pieces, but they're things, and it always comes second or third or fourth to yourself, your health, your well-being, your loved ones, you and your loved ones. Well, you can't help your loved ones unless you are taking care of yourself. And
yeah, it's something that people don't think of enough, is just take care of yourself. And part of taking care of yourself is having the things, but you really need to, you know, I hope when people watch this series, they get reminded that, you know, these things are really great. And just as Daniel said, you need to take care of yourself. And it can be the thing, it can be your watch that is part of taking care of yourself, but make sure there's intention behind it. Make sure that when you're appreciating something, it's for the right reasons. Short episodes now, episode 4, Claire. Okay, so Claire was literally just on the street. I shot it on my iPhone and I was going back and forth with my producer, Jake. Do we post this? Do we not post this? What do we do? And ultimately we decided, let's just tell the story. And look at it right now on my channel, at least. This is the most viewed video that we posted already. I guess people love it. It's nice to just sometimes ask a few questions of friends of mine. Claire has gone to almost every single one of my events and has been one of the most supportive friends ever. So it just felt right to ask her why she wears something on her wrist. You know, this is the she often wears her Apple Watch instead. And I was like, why do you have, if you love your Apple Watch so much and you like that sort of lifestyle, why do you have another watch? And this was the story behind it.
How's that?
That's great.
Do you like broken and it's perpetually midnight or noon?
It's interesting. All these people, you know, Claire and René, they both have watches that don't work, and it's consistently a thing. And that's because I focus on people that I know who have an emotional story behind it, and it almost drives it home that the watch doesn't always matter. It's the emotions and the stories behind them, and that's why these watches are broken. But also, just to establish, I do hope that Claire fixes her watch. Please, Claire, please.
80, yep, she's 81, and she's pretty unique. She's just like a little bit
I love that
quirky.
photo of the two of them.
When was the last time you wore it with her?
Probably last Thanksgiving. I wear it if I want to look nice.
Okay.
And I want my wrist to feel dinged.
I like.
Because I have a very small wrist.
Thank you. Boom.
I mean, it was a very short piece, but I wanted to really drive home that, you know, you do not have to be a mega watch collector. You do not have to be the most high-end everything, blah, blah, blah. Like, this is a very good friend of mine. This is Claire, and she does not have a giant passion for watches. She does not have many, many watches, but she still has an emotional connection to one. And I just wanted to drive that home and hope that it makes you smile, that somebody associates something with a core memory and their grandmother. Episode 5, another one, Sloan. Oh my gosh. So Sloan, as we see in the immediate opening of the film, is a very, very silly gentleman. He was actually the basis for one of my other documentaries in my longer series, Story of Collectors, which is over now, but you can watch it on Perpetual Motion Pictures YouTube channel. And you know, let's just dive in. I don't have enough words for who he is. Oh my gosh. So this one was also shot on iPhone in the Hollywood Hills, and he had just picked up this JLC Reverso, which is, I mean, it was a really cool piece, so I just had to do something on it. All right, hello Sloan.
Hello.
Are you ready for another interview?
What? It's
What's
a baby
funny
goat.
is he was being difficult, but he had already said, you should ask me about this watch on camera. So I was just responding to him, and then we get the difficulty. So Sloan, sorry, why are you being so difficult?
Oh my gosh. All right, sir, what are you wearing?
I'm wearing that.
What is that?
It's a JLC Reverso SIHH thingy.
And is it nice?
I like it.
When I was thinking about the last two episodes, so this one and Claire, and whether it's worth posting, whether it's worth even editing, I was thinking, what is the emotion that somebody will take away as they watch it? And ultimately for Claire, it was, you know, hopefully when you watch it, you think of the last time you saw your grandmother, and you think of something that connects you with your family. And for Sloan, you know, this line really drives it home, which is...
Does it make you happy?
Watches don't make me happy. I'm not materialistic.
That's a good answer. Thank you, sir.
I am very materialistic. Are you ready?
So first we hear watches don't make me happy, I'm not materialistic. Then he starts laughing and says he absolutely is materialistic. And that's the thing that I want to drive home, which is it's okay to let something special and, you know, expensive or relatively expensive, whatever the thing is, whatever that special thing is for you, it's okay for that to make you happy. I mean, Sloan has an amazing smile, and that was one of the more genuines I had seen that day. We spent the whole day together, so I hope that when you watch this piece, you're just reminded of the things that you do have that make you smile that much. And, you know, hopefully that Sloan is a funny guy with a lot of character. Thank you, Sloan. You've always been supportive, always there for me in every single way, and all the screenings, everything, you've been there. So thank you, dude. All right. Finally, the latest episode, Savannah.
Trying to think of what I feel when I look at it. Every time it's something different.
This was also sort of a very short episode because we didn't have a lot of time to dive into it. We had shot this interview, I think it was after a photo shoot that Savannah and I were working on. And I was like, oh, can you be in my new series, Wrist Whispers, please, please, please? And she's like, yeah, sure. So we sat down, and I think the whole interview is maybe 7 minutes long, so we didn't have very much time. And then I just put B-roll on top of it from past photo shoots that we had done, past video shoots that we had done, and just tried to compile a cohesive story.
When I first got it, it was like, what is that on your wrist? And I showed him, and he said, you know what, Sab, that's a really big flex. And I said, really? I don't know. Like, I don't know. It seems cool. It's vintage. Like, it's got a vibe. And he was like, no. He said, that is a watch. That means that you have taste.
That shot with her with the needle is in Nashville. The shot before that was in Los Angeles. It was just about putting together a film that made sense. So how do you spend your time? What do you do? Who are you? Introduce yourself.
I'm Savannah Yarb.
I really like the shot on the iPad because it emphasizes what she does for work, which is designing. That's what most of her time is spent doing. And you know, if you only see her with the needle, or if you only see her in the store or in the back of the store, you don't really get the sense of that. So I wanted to really drive home, because that is what she is, a designer, what she does.
And I work all the time. I own a company called Savas, and we specialize in making leather and suede jackets and footwear.
I should be wearing my Savas jacket. I'm sorry, Savannah. I know I should. Next video. They are really, really beautiful.
Footwear. So every single piece that we create,
It's amazing the people that she's done jackets for, and you know, I have been photographed in them. What an A-list crew. Congrats.
To be and exist as in the world, and then work with my team to make that happen. I split my time between Nashville and Los Angeles, where we work with different people on really beautiful garments for them. So this watch, which is my favorite piece that I own.
Yep. So story perspective, we're jumping from who she is, where she is, what she does, straight into the watch. And we already know you know, a few small things about it. We know that people have been interested. We know that she gets compliments. And now it's like, what is the true reason you have this?
This watch holds all my emotions. Yeah, it's kind of like a leather jacket. Just hold on to it. I think watches are an extension of ourselves, even if the time is...
Again, another person. It's not a broken watch, but the time is wrong. You know, the watch doesn't always matter. It's the story behind it and the feeling that you have when you look at it.
That you really want to do, and not to let, you know, life get in the way and go by too fast. It's important to stop.
Yeah, so as we go into the last part of this, you know, we've sort of heard her story, the introduction, who she is, why she has a watch, what the watch is and why she appreciates it, the memories and stories that she has attached to it and the emotion. And then I wanted to, you know, get some advice, because each person that we do a film on, I sort of ask them, hey, what do you think, you know, new watch collectors should think about, or what's some advice that you have for new watch collectors? And with Savannah, because she's a designer, I figured that instead of jumping into the watch collectors, let's think of, you know, watches as an accessory, and ask her about, you know, how to formulate an outfit and how to get dressed.
Personal style in general is just to wear your favorite things on that day. Like whatever is saying to you, I'm your favorite, whether it's your jacket, your watch, your socks, pull all your favorites that day. They will work together because you most likely have a pretty well curated grouping of clothes. And whether it's multiple patterns, one pattern, just wear it and you will be not only looking awesome, but you will feel great about yourself.
Okay, so that was my breakdown of Wrist Whispers, all the episodes that are currently out. Thank you so much for all the support. It is amazing. You know, having a new YouTube channel, it is very stressful. It is very mentally taxing. Every single view counts. You know, when you have 50 views on a video, having an extra 2, it makes a difference. It makes me feel amazing. Whenever someone comments something, it makes me feel amazing. And then when some of them already are starting to take off, that is the greatest feeling ever. So thank you all so much for the support, and we'll see you soon because there are many more Whispers coming. Bye.